What's up, everybody? Max Scoville here for Destructoid.com, and welcome back to another episode of Tuesday Newsday. Today I'm not sitting at the little desk I usually sit at because it's real nice out and I wanted some fresh air from the door. You got a problem? We got plenty of news to talk about that's happened over the course of the last week. Let's start with the Order 1886. Brett Makedonski went to check this out. This is the game that Sony revealed way back at E3 last year, and it's apparently very cinematic and pretty, and we don't know much about it. They showed a tiny bit of gameplay earlier on. I think Dale saw it and basically came away being like, well, it looks great, but we don't know what the hell it's about because they only showed me a tiny little snippet. Apparently, Brett had the same experience. Again, he got to see like 5 minutes of gameplay and got something of an idea of how it plays, but still not quite enough to, satisfy those curiosities that we all have. Apparently one of the chief mechanics here, this being a third-person shooter, is something called soft cover, which is the opportunity to kind of automatically tape cover against, obstacles and pillars and walls and stuff like that. You don't have to hit a button to dive down to do that. And to kind of make the cover-based shooting a little bit more exciting, so it's not just the kind of, pop goes the weasel thing. They've got this gun that is called a thermite rifle, which I guess you can paint thermite on the walls behind enemies and then hit it with a flare, and it just rains fire on them, which fire still kills people even if they're hiding behind a box, so that seems like a fun time. Brett said it seemed super underpowered if you're using it as kind of the regular rifle, which just shoots, iron pellets, and I guess the pistol was super kind of underpowered too, and it just felt like using a toy gun. But I guess the explanation for that is there's this stuff called Blackwater, which is not a PMC organization. It is in fact a mysterious resource that lets people live a whole lot longer. This is again of sort of this alternate reality of Victorian London, and everything's all steampunk. I mean, it's steampunk. Let's just call it what it is. It's steampunk, there's some supernatural stuff there, and there's some cool-ass technology, which sounds like it's a lot of fun if the thermite rifle is any indication. But again, that's really pretty much all that Brett got to see. If you want all the details, go check out his preview over on Destructoid.com. And if there's an excuse for Sony not really showing off more of this game, it's probably something to do with the fact that it is further from completion than originally anticipated. They were originally aiming for a Q4 release, so, this holiday season, but it looks like that has been pushed to early 2015. No specific date yet, but it seems like that's going to be a thing we're hearing more and more about as we're dealing with these new next-gen titles. People really want, polished experiences. On that note, another game that's being pushed back, albeit only 2 months, is The Evil Within, which is Shinji Mikami, the Resident Evil guy's kind of new thing he's doing with Bethesda Publishing. He's working, I think it's called Tango Gameworks. Apparently it's really not that great. Brett was genuinely disappointed. I guess the whole problem is that it's just not really a very exciting experience as far as survival horror goes. And then the gameplay is kind of unfair. Apparently the checkpoints are really irregular to the point where you have to replay sequences that weren't really fun to play the first time, but then you have to, go back and repeat 15 minutes of them. And of course, people in the comments were like, Brett, you suck at this game. It doesn't mean it's bad. Good news is that is being pushed back 2 months, so maybe Shinji Mikami and company can get a chance to polish it up a bit. Hopefully they pull it together, but, it doesn't sound super exciting at this point. I'm just really sick of old hospitals. Like, can we do something a little bit different? How about a new hospital? I don't know, it's just like that whole Victorian hospital thing. It's like, it's kind of played out. Can we just, seriously, just spooky-ass bed frames are only spooky for a second. Let's just try some new shit. Here's a fun little pre-E3 leak. It's the new Battlefield game, which is called Battlefield Hardline, which is just great for this very YouTube channel because we have a weekly show called Hardline. So, hello SEO. In any case, this game is actually being developed with Visceral, the guys who did, Dead Space, and it is, surprisingly enough, not a traditional Battlefield game. It looks like it's a cops and robbers game. These assets showed up on an EA server, and it's a bunch of accessories and different types of vehicles. You get grappling hooks, a billion different scopes for your guns, but there's mention of stuff like a money bag. So the obvious connection people are making is Payday the Heist, and I guess there's a little bit of Counter-Strike in there too, given that it's not, straight up traditional warfare. A little bit of, terrorists and counter-terrorist action there. It'll be cool to see when this actually gets shown off. People seem kind of interested on this, and honestly, I'm right there with them, because I think we're all a little bit worn out on military shooters, so maybe little cops and robbers couldn't hurt. Sure worked for GTA. Now, we all know that Visceral is working on a new Star Wars game, so here's a little bit of bad news for you, maybe, kind of, sort of. Disney has announced that they have canceled the Star Wars Attack Squadrons, which is a free-to-play online spaceship shooting dogfight X-Wing Squadron game. So if you were excited about that, It's too bad. I think this is definitely less of a big blow to Star Wars games than the loss of Star Wars 1313 was. I think the free-to-play thing was probably kind of a big bugaboo for a lot of people, so hopefully Visceral and DICE have way cooler shit to show off, and we can forgive Disney for canceling all these Star Wars projects. Just give me some games with the Star Wars guys in them, because I want to play them. Speaking of shooting stuff in space, a new Batman Lego game has been announced, which is Batman 3 Beyond Gotham. This is, of course, the fine folks at TT Games who have been diligently releasing Lego games on a pretty regular basis for, I don't know, like the last decade at this point. This one is boasting 150 characters in the roster, which I'm guessing you're going to have to do a bunch of crazy little mini games to get a hold of all of them. It's also boasting some zero-gravity stuff, which sounds kind of cool in theory, but one of my biggest gripes with Lego Marvel was the aerial controls, which just make the flying races pretty much impossible. Really just the worst, especially when like half the characters can fly. So hopefully they tighten that up and make it more fun to play when you're being Batman in Zero-G. If you like Batman and Lego guys, then there you go. Oh yeah, speaking of stuff that 8-year-olds might get excited about, MapleStory 2 has revealed its first gameplay. Remember MapleStory? Yeah, I played that in high school. That was a long time ago. That was almost a decade ago. I gotta say, it actually looks really good. I think the big question is, who's still playing MapleStory? And I have the answer to that. My old roommate, Sam. He was still playing that shit, which is just amazing. I don't know how he found the time to do that. MapleStory 2 is going to have a closed beta in Korea this year, and then apparently a worldwide one sometime later. So again, if you hate mushrooms and want to stab them, this is a game for you to stay tuned for. Speaking of things in nature that you might hate, did you guys see this trailer for Spin Wheels? Is it called Spin Wheels? Spintires, I'm sorry. This game looks really, really ridiculous. Apparently it's a game where you play as trucks in the woods. And it's got really advanced mud physics and tree physics. And I guess the goal of the game is to rescue trucks that have become stuck in the mud, thus the name Spintires. Go watch this trailer. It's kind of hilarious because there's just super badass dubstep playing while these trucks are just driving around in the woods. Seriously, go watch it. Right, just do it right now. That's all the news for today. I'm Max Scoville. I'm gonna try and do a farts and crafts video because we didn't do one yesterday because it was a holiday. Because I was at an anime convention. Anime. But yeah, I don't know. What's your favorite color? Let me know in the comments. And go read Destructoid.com for all your news. Good night, and go order pizzas.